welcome back. It's time now to have our quick press review. But before we start, as usual, let me welcome my dear guest live here in the studio, Dr. Hala Enara, our political analyst of Saturday Morning Breakfast Show. Thank you very much for being with us, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And we are going to start immediately, and our first headlines are coming from Al-Ahram, where we read, "The people ends the chances of those who called for sabotage. A calm day in the capital and all around Egypt in all governorates, and the movement of transportation and banks as usual. Cairo calm without any rallies." Still with the same issue, but from Al Masri Al-Yawm this time, where we continue to read, "Calm streets and full-scale security on the 11th of November. Tight security measures to secure the vital installations in Cairo and in different governorates. People shout slogans in support of President Al-Sisi in Al-Qaid Ibrahim." This is, of course, in the mid-city of Alexandria. Ma'am, regarding what happened yesterday, the 11th of November, with those calls on the social media, and it went that smooth yesterday. I'm here in the Maspero building, in just a few meters from Tahrir Square, and all around the capital, Cairo, all around the governorates, we did not find any traces of those who called for these demos.
Yes.
Is it because they discovered that it's in vain, and the Egyptian people learned the lesson that we are not going to be driven once again to this dilemma? Is it because as many are saying of Clinton's sudden defeat in the U.S. elections? Is it because fears of the security or the tight security procedures taken? Why, in your opinion?
In fact, the three of them. For the people, they understand that their country is in danger, and they don't see Muslim Brotherhood as the group able to lead Egypt. They tried Muslim Brotherhood before, and they know that they have no democracy, they have no human rights, they have nothing of what they are calling for. And whenever they come, they oppress all people, except their people.
Sure.
Second, people know that their country is in economic danger.
Yeah.
They are suffering, but they want to help their country. They don't want turmoil. They don't want any problems to accumulate problems, because the more problems are, the more they are going to pay. They understand that. As for security, security was very successful with Muslim Brotherhood people. They discovered many cells, they discovered weapons, and they were...
Amen to that, ma'am. Because earlier a statement released by the Ministry of the Interior speaking about the caches of weapons discovered, factory bombs also discovered, and plans even from the international terrorist group of the Brotherhood with their cadres inside Egypt trying to form new cells under new names and to take them to the media to be responsible for the crimes they are planning to commit here in Egypt. I mean, inside the country.
Yes, and we didn't talk, of course, about the result of American elections. They were expecting Hillary Clinton to win, and when they start demonstrations, she says now means now, Sisi must go. And they don't understand that Egyptian people defends the pride of Egypt. It's not a matter of one person only. They like their country. They are willing to defend their country no matter how they pay. And many people didn't like this Clinton to come because they knew that she is responsible for what's happening now in Syria, what's happening in Libya. And if she comes, it was sure that there will be a fire in the region and a war in the world, maybe a third world war.
Yep. Amen.
She's a warmonger, as they call them.
Yep. And if those terrorists are going to depend on the so-called poor, they are going to lose, or they lost already, because Prime Minister Engineer Sharif Ismail yesterday said that the Egyptians chose stability. and chose to abide by law because they really knew that this is the right way to succeed. Egypt entered a new era and we are not going back.
This is like another elections. They said no to brotherhood. No matter how we suffer, we don't want you.
Amen to that, ma'am. Back to Al-Ahram, where we read at the front page, 2.75 billion US dollars from the International Monetary Fund within days. In fact, it was yesterday we received them already. The International Monetary Fund approves a 12 billion US dollar deal to Egypt after the fund's board approved the Egyptian economic program. Still with the same issue, but from El Masri Al-Yom, also from its front page, where we read, the US dollar continued its retreat hours before the signing of the IMF agreement. Bank Masr says 22 billion pounds, the revenues of the new certificates, and I think that it's now much more than that. It reached 30 billion pounds. Central Bank Governor Tariq Amer said that the first tranche will help to raise the bank's foreign reserve to 23.5 billion US dollars. We have more details.
International Monetary IMF on Friday approved a 3-year 12 billion US dollar deal for Egypt. The IMF executive board said it would release 2.75 billion US dollars to Egypt immediately. The board added in a statement that the program will help Egypt promote inclusive growth. IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde said the IMF would be supporting an Egyptian homegrown economic program. She added in a statement that the authorities recognize that the implementation of the policy package under the economic program is essential to restore investor confidence, reduce inflation to single digits, rebuild international reserves, strengthen public finances, and encourage growth. The deal announcement by the global crisis lender comes after Cairo took crucial preliminary reform steps in recent weeks. The IMF last month forecast the country's economy will grow 3.8% this year and 4% next year. The deal approval came hours after Standard & Poor's announced it was upgrading the outlook on Egyptian sovereign debt to stable from negative. The S&P said a more competitive exchange rate could benefit Egypt's export of goods and services, notably the tourism sector, if the security environment stabilizes further.
Welcome back. Ma'am, in the statements released by Engineer Sheikh Ismail, our Prime Minister, after this 2.75 billion US dollar tranche which we received yesterday, he said that the cabinet is working around the clock to provide the citizens with basic commodities. Yeah. But it's among lines you are going to find a call to work, to produce,
of course,
and to cooperate with the cabinet to reach the final destination or the stage where we can say that we are on the right track on ourselves, not with the assistance of the international community in general. How do you see this equation, I should say?
In fact, we have been saying here every time we say that Egyptian people must work. This is the only hope for Egypt. We must work. But the Prime Minister cannot come on TV and say, Egyptian people, please work. There must be rules, there must be a system of monitoring and putting people who are behind schedules into account, putting people who are not doing their work into account. Everyone, no matter how highly ranked he is, must be put into account. The young and the highly ranked must work. They must work hard. We saw many nations in difficult position far more than Egypt, who succeeded and became powers. Yep. There are countries in the region, there are countries outside the region who depended on themselves, and there was economic sanctions, there was economic war against them, and they succeeded because they depended on themselves.
Yep.
If the people has the will to succeed, we will succeed. And they must understand that we cannot depend on anyone, even brothers. We must depend on ourselves. And we have many resources, in fact. But we need to use them.
Yeah.
And of course, we need a good investment law. I don't know
Amen to
why
that.
it's not here yet.
I hope that it's going to be the first on top of the agenda of the parliament in the, by the start of the next round. Back to Al Ahram with some good news. Sharm el Sheikh and Safaga received 4,665 tourists from different nationalities. Some good news.
Yes.
And we hope
Thank
that it's
God.
going to continue this
Thank
way.
God.
We are in the start of the winter season, meaning it's the highest season when it comes to tourism here in Egypt.
In fact, terrorism did not stop tourism in France, for example. It didn't stop tourism in the United States. There is terrorism in the United States
Sure.
and in Europe, but tourism did not stop. We need creative ideas. We need creative officials
Thinking
who can
out of the
employ.
box and
Yes.
propaganda. And from Al Ahram front page, we reach some international news, and still the result of the presidential elections in America are on top of the agenda. Trump accused the media of igniting the protests against him. Protesters around the United States rally and march as they have done daily since Donald Trump's presidential election victory. Taking you to the same issue, but from Al Masri Al-Yawm, where we continue to read. Trump promises to unify divided America and holds the media responsible for the protests. The protesters burn the American flag. Expected, man?
Are they against democracy? They don't like legality?
No. My question here is that where are the human rights groups? What they are doing there?
They are paid by the United States.
Okay, great.
If
You say so. I can't.
they are paid by certain circles who cannot ignite this anger against the United States. And these people who are refusing Trump, this is free election.
Yep.
And this is the will of the people. The majority chose Trump.
Amen to
They
that.
cannot say, no, we don't want him. We don't accept him as president. Why? Why is Clinton better? This campaign was the most dirty campaign the United States have ever seen.
Witnessed, yes.
Thanks to Clinton and the Democratic Party.
But ma'am, there are many people who are thinking that Trump is going to do something grave, something different. America is, the United States or America, it's a state of institutions. I
Yes.
mean, all powers are not in the hands of the president.
It's not a matter of one person.
But you know what's really amazing? That the first talks between Obama and Trump were characterized by Obama as excellent. And Trump himself said that he is eager and keen to have more talks with Obama after all what happened through the presidential campaign. Also, this is the game of politics, or there's something I cannot
Of course, this is so
understand?
diplomatic because they don't bear each other. And Obama did everything he can do against Trump. But Obama says something and does something else. But he is finished now. His term is about to finish.
Yes.
In January, he finishes
20th of
the
January,
second term.
yes.
And Trump is coming. This is just diplomatic. It doesn't mean that they are friends.
Yeah.
And it's only normal that they say we are going to cooperate, and that Trump says, I lend the friendship hand and the cooperation hand to everyone. I want to unite the nation.
it was the
because
first
the
time-
nation was not divided by Trump.
Yep.
In fact, it was divided before Trump. In the days of Obama, many blacks were killed under the rule of the black president.
Yeah.
And many years ago, we saw the Times and Newsweek coming with one country, two nations.
Yeah.
This was the description of the United States.
And
before
today
Trump.
it was very
He
frank by
didn't-
Trump to say that the media is the reason, or it's igniting violence. Anyhow, tomorrow is another day, and we are going to watch what's going on there in the states, the source of democracy in the whole world. Dr. Hala, thank you very
That's
much.
what he's saying, that he wants America back. Because America was like a minaret for freedom.
And
but
because
it
of this-
turned into something different now.
And because of this, I said that let's wait and see.
Yes.
Dr. Hala, thank you very much. I usually enjoy my time with you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your input. Have a very good day.
Thank you.
All right, after the short break, we are going to be back always with more on Nile TV International, so stay tuned.